And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the next episode of Wisdom Transmissions Live. Hope you're all doing well today. So today we're going to be looking at Europe 2025 pertaining to the momentum ahead. Now, this was not really an idea of mine. This was actually through one of you. We're suggesting this. Basically saying, Brad, is it possible that we can do a look into Europe? I think it was for a certain country, but I said, well, let's look into Europe all together. And like I said, guys, I really don't care about these types of things, but I know that you guys do. So this is exactly why I'm happy to do these things for you. But really, a very important thing to understand as well is when I'm doing a lot of these readings, I would do these quite a bit on the signposts when I was doing the signposts. And let me get my words together. The signpost is currently on hiatus because I'm doing a lot of other work right now. So I can really only manage one webcast per week. So that's exactly why I'm just doing the Wednesday webcast. Signposts will probably come back here in the next little while, probably around the springtime of next year. But in the meantime, I'm writing a book. I'm getting a lot of other things taken care of first and foremost. So time is limited, unfortunately. And I'd love to do 2 webcasts per week, but I'm just doing one per week. But anyways, with the signpost, I would normally do these Tarot Zodiac Spreads. And one of the things I have to really advise and mention to all of you is that I'm not talking to you personally when I'm doing these particular collective readings, right? As soon as I mention something about a collective, everybody thinks that they are personally affected by these collective readings, and that's not the case, right? Especially when we're looking at something like this with Europe of 2025, doesn't mean I'm honing in on your specific city, your specific town, your specific family, you yourself personally. Okay, please take that into heart, because when I say these readings, people will get personal with this, right? And it's a collective reading, okay? And it's really just helping us to understand the momentum of things ahead. So I'll be getting into that momentarily, and afterwards we'll have some Q&A. Now, Q&A is just for general readings today, okay? I've decided I'm only going to be doing personal readings when Brianne is with me, okay? And Brianna is going to be with me next week, and that will be when personal readings will happen. Weeks when I'm doing this by myself, it's just going to be semi-personal and general questions, okay? And if you do want private sessions with me, you can do that through Wisdom Transmissions. And speaking of that, we have the brand new Wisdom Transmissions website, which I will be showing you here. So this is the new Wisdom Transmissions website that is just online now. And another thing I wanted to show you about the Wisdom Transmissions website is this. This is for the free 10-day Trauma Transcendence Technique e-course. It is finally online. Okay, it's ready to go. So this is the e-course that I recommend everybody take. Okay, it's free. It's 10 days long, which means you get an email every single day for 10 days that will give you a video for you to watch about how to work with the trauma transcendence technique, okay? Trauma transcendence technique is helping you to move into enlightenment. That's the key. It's helping you to work together with traumas. It's helping you to work together in clearing out reactions, desires, right? It's everything that humanity really needs right now, more than anything, so that you can now start living life, truly. Because if you're surviving, you're not living. And through the trauma transcendence technique, you're going to learn this very simple technique very thoroughly, how to clear out your traumas, how to clear out your reactions and your desires, and start moving yourself more into a state of personal enlightenment. So this is the key here. So again, you can check that out. The brand new website is now up, wisdomtransmissions.com. Okay, we're going to start off with some more announcements, and then we're going to get right into the reading. So we'll be 1 minute, and I will see you shortly.
Private one-to-one sessions have returned with Brad Johnson and Adronis, with appointment times from 30, 45, and 60 minutes online. Offline sessions including the 3 questions by email and distance healing are now available. Book your session now through our website, wisdomtransmissions.com.
Get readings with Brienne and be astonished at the depth and accuracy she provides for you through her tarot readings. Brienne can create crystal grids for distance healing, plus offer Reiki and Kundalini attunements. She is also a certified Flying Star Feng Shui consultant. Visit Brienne's website and book your session today at readingswithbrienne.com.
Source Energy enhanced products to repair and rejuvenate the body. From the power of light to crystals to bed kits, card decks, and more. View our free samples, tutorials, and testimonials on our website, etherx.co.
And a reminder for everybody that I am holding weekly classes with Adronis. So this is every single Sunday. And Adronis has his own Patreon page, right? So it's patreon.com/Adronis. You can sign up. You can get a free 7-day trial, trying out your own class, right? There's another one coming up this week. And of course, being able to interact with Adronis as well too, right? I also do videos every now and then for the Patreon group called Adronis Answers for anybody that does have any questions for him. And he comes through and he answers your personal questions as well too. If you guys really want to get a lot more personal readings, particularly from Adronis, this is what I would suggest you do. So check out the 7-day free trial. You can sign up now on patreon.com/Adronis and join us every Sunday for Adronis Patreon Classroom. It's really exciting. We've been learning a lot of incredible things, and Adronis is teaching the class. It's wonderful. So please check that out, patreon.com/Adronis. Final announcement is the Ancient Egypt Halls of Amenti tour. So I've talked about this a couple times already. Looking into the higher self, the Akashic records, and star ancestor initiation, right? It's 9 days, 8 nights tour to Cairo, Abu Simbel. You're going to have a Nile cruise as well too. You're going to experience Luxor, have a private tour inside the Great Pyramid of Giza, and I'm actually going to be going into a kind of channeled initiation through the star ancestors and initiating people into the Halls of Amenti. This is going to be really exciting. So this is the Ancient Egypt Halls of Amenti tour. You can register now. It's wowtours.de, and that is going to be happening November 8th to 16th, 2025. We already got, like I said, about 35, maybe 40% of it already sold. So again, it's filling up pretty quickly. Grab it while it's cheap, because this is the early bird time. Okay, so November 8th to 16th, 2025. Check it out, wowtours.de. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started with today's broadcast, looking into the momentum of Europe. All right, so I'm going to move my camera down because I've already done the shuffle for it. I've already prepared the spread, and we're going to go ahead and take a look at it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn the card around so you can see it. Okay, so here we go, starting off with Aries. This is quite appropriate. So what is the momentum pertaining to the entire continent of Europe? Okay, we're not looking at any specific country, but we're just seeing how the continent is going. Okay, so here we have the Emperor starting off. Okay, so this is telling me that pretty much all the old leaders that were all about maintaining an old, bloated, despicable agenda are about to be replaced. Okay, everything is changing. Everything is going through transition. I would say even if we're looking at something like the Vatican is basically going bankrupt. They're going to be on the way out. A lot of these leaders who are following a lot of the Khazarian mafia are basically going to be ousted. There are plans right now to taking them out altogether. So we're going to be seeing new leadership coming together, specifically around 2025, because as I've said, 2025 represents endings. So the Emperor here is really the idea of saying that we're hammering down. New leadership is going to be appointed. There's going to be a major sweeping, a clean sweep, I should say, of a lot of these old leaders that have been in power. And we're basically seeing everything pertaining to them fall apart. And this is aspecting the sign of Libra. Okay, so we're looking into the idea again of new financial system integration coming in. Again, we've seen such an incredible shift of cryptocurrency. Crypto is really taking over right now. It's pretty much what everybody is talking about. So we are going to see a big, powerful change in the financial system. Not only that, but we're also going to see new leaders coming into power that are much more in alignment to where the people want to see us go. So like I said, this is all part of a tremendous shift. And when we're looking at Aries, Aries represents, again, the whole body, right? It represents the whole, the outlook, the big picture of things, right? I could basically just pull the Aries sign card here and say, well, this is really where Europe is going. Europe is basically shifting everything. Of course, it's going to be an intense transition because it's Mars, it's Aries, right? That's fire, that's aggression. You know, there's all, it's like these old dirty players are fighting for their lives, trying to maintain their empire, and they will create all kinds of terror, and they will create all kinds of shenanigans and corruption in the meantime for them to try to maintain their empire. But it's too late. Like I said, it's not even them holding up the pillars anymore. The pillars are crumbling apart. And so, like I said, this is aspecting together with Libra. And Libra is telling me here that the old is on the way out. The new is about to rise. New things are about to happen. New changes are afoot. Going into the second house, which is Taurus. Okay. So Taurus represents speech, sociability, wealth, stability, security, immediate family, oral traditions. Okay. So we're really kind of looking at wealth here. We're looking at wealth, stability, and security. Well, there's new powers coming in. There's new facilities, not new facilities, but new facilitators coming together. I'd say the countries are going to start teaming up and start tackling and taking out a lot of these quote unquote opposing countries that have tried to create a terrorist rule, that have basically tried to create, again, the KM version of the earth. So we're seeing countries coming together. We're seeing countries being able to work together and form alliances. And a lot of people are concerned about NATO and all these other different organizations. Well, my friends, those are all proxy organizations, and they are going to be taken over. But the feeling is that it's going to be overhauled. Okay, so the old people, you could say the old dirty players that were running such organizations, yeah, they're all going to be ousted. It's kind of like Trump is leading this charge, and a lot of these other leaders are going to follow suit and start completely and totally overhauling a lot of these old organizations that have been used as proxies to try and fuel war, corruption, greed, try and get the few rich while everybody else is feeding off the scraps of life. Okay, so there are arrangements for new security, new stability, new financial system, new changes that are going to impact Europe severely. Okay, this is aspecting together with Scorpio, which is right here. Okay, so this is actually a very good sign when we're seeing Scorpio having this. So this is indicating significant change. Like I said, I think the wealth is going to fundamentally change. The wealth of this world, the wealth that we have been basically not privy to, is now going to start coming together. So we're going to start seeing a grand change of money changing sides. These old oligarchs, these dirty players, are not going to be able to maintain their financial empires anymore. Everything's being taken away from them. All this money laundering schemes that they have been doing, everything pertaining to their banking cartels, it's all being infiltrated. It's all being taken away from them, not him, all being taken away from them. And this is exactly why they are scattered like rats. They're cockroaches. They're just basically being flushed out. They're being taken out of the picture altogether. So there's people saying, well, one of these dirty players coming out, when are they going to, receive justice? They already are, right? This is something that's been happening for a while, my friends. This is not something new. This is all, as I've talked about, is like you're looking at a chessboard and you're seeing all these pieces surrounding this king right here that's in the corner of the board. And they're just waiting for them to make a stupid move. And they've already made their stupid moves. Now they're going in. Now they're about to take down the king. So we're past that now. We're not lying in wait anymore. It's now time to act. It's now time for the action to take place here. So that's exactly what I'm seeing here, pertaining to, again, the second house, which represents Taurus, and again, the eighth house, which represents Scorpio. So again, Scorpio does represent massive change. It does represent scandals and secrecy. It does represent unexpected torment and loss, right? So loss is also a part of Scorpio, and that's what I'm feeling, is that they're gathering a lot of the funds, and it's going to come back to the people. And a lot of countries are going to be doing this. I know going to be doing this. I know a lot of people are going to be asking, Brad, what about my country? What about my country here in Europe, or this other country in Europe? And in that sense, I'm feeling that this is the majority. The majority are going to be getting wealth coming back to them. But in the meantime, we're still going through the transitional struggle, right? This is talking about 2025. Granted, we're less than a month away from that, but this is still telling me that a majority of countries are going to be getting a lot more prosperity coming back. It's going to take a little bit of time, but we're in that momentum of that happening. Okay, now we have the third house, which is Gemini. Okay, so we're seeing that there is kind of like safeguards being put in place. This is communication. Okay, Gemini is all about communication. Seeing if there's any other aspects of Gemini that might be missing, right? If there's courage, there's strength, there's enterprise, active body and mind, so to speak. But it really represents the nature of how we communicate in that way. So my feeling is that new talks are taking place so that the old oligarchs can therefore be flushed out. I think there's new negotiations that are happening, and there's communication that's happening that's blocking the funding supply of the Khazarian mafia. The KN is basically on their last legs. They're getting all these kinks in the hoses, and it feels like people that they basically had as associates are just turning against them right now. And as this is aspecting together with the ninth house, which is Sagittarius, which often represents good fortune, well, this is the fire. This is the wand, the ace of wands. So yes, there are massive takedowns happening. There are massive arrests happening all across Europe. There is so much going on all at the same time, everybody. We just can't, we can't put it into a single broadcast, right? There are informants that are being seized. They're talking about higher ups. If I'm tuning into these two particular cards right now, and I'm just getting more information, yeah, it feels like there is there's kind of like people that are squealing. They're kind of like they're telling everybody about who are the bigger head honchos, how they can be found, how they can be taken down. These are all really mafia members. These are basically gangsters. They're being taken down. They're finding more of their higher ups. They're working with their higher ups, kind of like moles. And then at the appropriate time, they are being exposed. They're being, it's almost like looking at a Godfather movie in a way, right? It's just that there's moles on top of things. There's double agents. There's secrecy. There's people who a lot of these dirty players relied upon that are now being turncoats and now exposing them. And like I said, everything pertaining to their money laundering and their everything that represented their money supply is just being apprehended. It's being taken down. So this is enormous, right? And there's a multitude of different mafias within Europe, but so many of them are just being they're being ratted out. They're being exposed. They have moles. They have these kind of agents that are working together with these moles and telling them exactly what they need to do. There's task forces that are coming together. There's more taking down of laboratories. There's more taking down of secret vaults that contain a great deal of precious objects, you could say, that are worth a lot of money. There's trafficking rings that are being taken out. Everything is collapsing. And I know I've said this so many times that if I could actually show all of you what is actually happening behind the scenes, none of you would be worrying a single bit, right? This is all happening right now, and you're not going to get this on certain reports. You're not going to get this through media networks and so forth. This is something that is happening completely clandestine, completely in secret, but there are takedowns, and the idea of the money, there's billions of dollars being recollected right now, and there are going to be prosperity programs that are going to help to bring it back to the people. That is coming, and that is exactly what this is saying here. Okay, so again, this was the ninth house, Sagittarius. Here we are with the 10th house, Capricorn, and this is aspecting together with the 4th house, Cancer. Okay, so Cancer. So we're seeing the Eight of Cups, which connects with Pisces and Saturn. So that's telling me loss. Loss is coming, right? Giving up. The feeling that, again, they're taking the stash. They're basically taking all these valuables, But again, it's kind of represents the emotional energy. But it's also telling me that there's a new phase coming, and we're seeing things change hand. We're kind of seeing the emotional supply of the financial wealth of the world, because these dirty players have coveted it for so long, and it's being taken away from them. Okay, and it is going to be brought back to the people. And governments are actually going to start creating programs where there are going to be incredible amounts of prosperity funding. Guys, I can't begin to tell you how amazing this is going to be. 2025, 2026, we're going to start seeing this, right? And I think a lot of this money supply may also be coming into crypto as well, too, basically having larger market caps so that people can actually start getting quite wealthy off of crypto. Have you guys been checking the markets pertaining to XRP? Right? It's well over $3 right now. What have I been telling you? That XRP is going to be the next Bitcoin. And here you are seeing it for yourself. It's escalating. This is just the beginning. This, like I said, this is just you putting the key in the ignition and just about to start the engine. Okay, the engine hasn't even really started yet, just the keys in the ignition. Imagine what 2025 and 2026 are going to bring. It is going to escalate XRP phenomenally. Okay, that is the coin to get involved with. So this again is what I'm seeing here. I'm seeing prosperity funding coming together here. It's going to be an amazing time. There's going to be debt forgiveness. There's going to be new programs, and I think a lot of other countries are going to follow Trump's lead about having free post-secondary education. Okay, Trump really shocked a lot of people when he talked about the American Academy, how you're going to be able to have the equivalent of a bachelor's degree, and you'll be able to get it for free. Okay, that's just the beginning. Europe is going to incorporate this as well too. I feel there's going to be a lot of free education as well too. Like I said, new leaders that are really going to be following Trump's lead. It's not going to happen all at once right away, but it is going to be happening gradually. Okay, this is a wonderful time to see. But like I said, we're still kind of trudging through the mud here a little bit. Then we go to the 5th house, which is Leo. Okay, there we go. 5th house. So this, like I said, is there. It's kind of like they're taking away from the cabals, and they're about to give back to the people. Okay, this is really, really good. This is exactly what they're being told to do, because there's a higher order at place here. So they're taking away from the nasty cabal, the dirty players, and they're going to start giving it back to the people. Okay, so 5th house represents strength, it represents courage, it represents counsel, it represents intuition. Okay, so again, we are seeing that kind of goodness that is now starting to unfold. And this is the 11th house. This also represents gains. Every man, woman, and child are going to start moving into an era of prosperity. Okay, this is a really good reading, my friends. I'm not really seeing too much bad stuff here. So we're seeing the idea of prosperity. We're seeing the idea of money changing hands, that it's going to be turning into something else. And we're seeing it being given back to the people. We're seeing prosperity come. Then the funny thing is we go to the 6th house, which is the Leo card, which is strength, but it's in Virgo. Okay, and Virgo is all about service. Get like a dead fruit fly come here. It's all about service. It's about strengthening yourself. It's about bringing yourself, moving yourself past obstacles. It's moving past enemies. It's labor. But there's some other aspects with Virgo, but this is something very, very positive. This is the idea of the defeat of enemies, strength coming back to us. Okay, and this is aspecting together with the 12th house, which is Pisces. And Pisces often represents loss. But the loss that I'm seeing here was actually coming from the elites. It's coming from the cabal. Okay, and it represents the idea that we still have some mud to trudge through right now. I know the UK is going through some difficult times right now pertaining to food shortages. My friends, that is deliberate. Okay, that is not something that just happens in a way. This is something that is planned. That is a scheme. Okay, and I'm sure that it is going to be a temporary thing. But food supply will be coming back. But this is scarcity, especially with the type of prime minister that you have. He's just a con artist, right? He's just part of those dirty players. And they're on the precipice of being, I'd say him and his entire administration are on the precipice of being taken down as well, too. Because I know for 1 second that people are not going to stand for that. and that person is going to be ousted here very quickly. If there's a request for that, maybe I can look into that further as well too. Finally, we have the 13th card, basically showing how we are reacting to everything that's happening. We're seeing a new world coming together. We're seeing something completely new. Right now, here at the tail end of 2024, there's still a little bit of muck that we're getting out of, but we are about to see the world completely turn around, not just for Europe, but for every other place here on the planet, for every other land that is occupied by human beings. We are seeing a grand change taking place. And this is exactly what the cards are telling me. Like I said, I don't really keep up with European politics or anything of that nature. I barely keep up with my own local politics. But from what I'm just seeing here in a general reading, we're seeing a really, really good time coming here together. Like we're just seeing the idea of money being brought back to the people. The wealth of the planet is coming back to the people again. And it is going to be a time of great prosperity and joy, because we are seeing justice being served. That is being handed out right now to a lot of these oligarchs and mafia members and cabals and so forth. Okay, so we're seeing the death of the cabal, and 2025 feels like it's, kind of like the final, I wouldn't say like the final nail in the coffin, more like the stake through the vampire's heart. I would basically give it that impression. Okay, so that is what I'm getting for the momentum ahead for Europe for 2025. So like I said, I feel like the Vatican is going to go bankrupt. And not too long ago, we had that volcano. We had that volcano in Italy, and Adronis said that was one of the major events of the summer, because that is a sign that the Vatican is about to go broke. They're about to go broke, and everything that pertains to their value is going to be given back to people, right? There's going to be prosperity coming together. Leaders in all different types of European countries are, if they're not following together with the current regime to help work together in bringing prosperity back to humanity, they're going to be taken down. And 2025 is basically the year for that, right? So there's a lot of things happening behind the scenes. All right. So now that I've covered that, let's go ahead and move on into questions. So if you do have questions for Adronis, you can just let me know. Just let me know in the comments. If you do have donation-based questions, we will start off with donation-based questions first, but please, everybody, no personal readings. I will not be doing any personal readings today. Okay, Brianna is going to be with me next week, and then we're going to do some personal readings then. Again, please check out Brianne's website, readingswithbrianne.com. She's doing an incredible job. She's getting some amazing clients. She's getting some amazing readings. She's really doing a great job. This is her love. This is her passion. She's like me, right? And she's doing what she loves. So please support her. Okay, let's go to the first donation-based question here from Sharon. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Thank you for your donation. Dear Adronis and Brad, is XRP going to dip back to $2 or below at some point from now until the end of this month? Okay, let me just see if I can get my piece of paper out here. One thing I forgot to take out before starting the webcast today. So is XRP going to dip back to $2? Okay, let's take a look here. I feel like it'll still go through a fluctuation. It's possible, okay, but I think it's less possible. Okay, I'm not saying it's impossible. It's still quite possible that it can dip a bit, but if it dips, it's going to shoot back up again at the same time. XRP has such a bright future for it, right? I'm pretty sure either Elon Musk is looking to buy Ripple. I think two things are going to happen. Either number one, the current CEO of XRP is going to do a phenomenal job, and he's going to shoot XRP to the moon, or Elon Musk is going to take it over and shoot it to the moon as well, too. Either way, it's going to get shot to the moon. So the feeling I'm getting here pertaining with XRP is that it's constantly going up. There will be some fluctuations in the market, but it is going to shift up. It would not surprise me as we get maybe to about the first half of 2025 if we see it XRP maybe at about $5 or $6, right? So it really is moving up, right? I can't say it's going to be the gigantic jolt that's going to shoot it up, but in 2025, I've likened it to the idea, like I said, is that you're turning the ignition and you're revving the car. Right, you're revving up the engine. You're revving up the engine. That's going to cause a lot of energy to spike, and I feel like it could go up to maybe about $5 or $6, maybe around the first half of 2025. Guys, I am not a financial expert, so please do not ask me financial advice. but I'm just giving you the idea of the energetic readings of XRP, okay? The reason why I talk about XRP a lot is because this really is part of the new financial system, right? Cryptocurrency, you could basically say, is the new financial system, right? That's really what it's about. And it's going to be a very, very competitive market. Like I said, I think there's going to be more additions to financial systems because, as I've always said, there's financial systems, right? And not just a financial system. But this is going to be one of the main ones, is working with cryptocurrency. It's going to be big. You know, some people like it. Some people do not like it. I understand that. But this is the way the world is going. Where the way the world is going really doesn't care about your feelings. Okay. So like I said, if you really want to get into the point of moving into something that you want to bring prosperity with, I would say invest in XRP now. Best to do it now before it's too late. So many people are already doing it. There will probably be some other coins that may be successful, maybe like some meme coins like Doge or Shiba Inu or Pepe or something of that nature. Those will come in time, but it really is XRP that is kind of like the front runner. I feel like it is going to be the next Bitcoin. Okay, that's just my own perspective, guys. Doesn't mean you have to hang your hat on stuff. See these things for yourself. I'm just giving you a perspective. Okay, so Sharon, thank you very much for your question. All right, that's the only donation-based question I think I have so far. Other donation-based questions that come up, I'll be happy to grab it. Okay, this one here from Mary. Mary says, hi, Brad, could you ask the cards why Elon Musk is getting involved with UK politics? He's getting involved with Canadian politics, too. It's just how he is, right? Please, I don't think he's the real Elon. Does that really matter, though? Does it really matter if he's the real Elon or not? What matters is that he's portraying himself as Elon, right? I've always had that suspicion as well, too. But who cares? Who cares if he's not the real Elon Musk or not? He's portraying himself as that person, right? And basically why he's doing that is because he doesn't really have jurisdiction, right? He doesn't really have a place where only he can act, right? He's not really officially in a political administration. Yeah, he's working with Doge, right? But he has the ability to stretch his reach, right? He is a major man of influence. He's the richest man on the planet right now. He can basically do whatever the hell he wants, right? So basically that's intentional, because I feel like he has a council behind him that are telling him exactly what he should be getting involved with, because he has so much influence. He has millions and millions of people following him. He has incredible amounts of influence. Right? He's basically seen as the Tony Stark Iron Man of the world right now. So he has so much influence with it. So who gives a crap if he's not the real Elon or not? What matters is he has this presence. He has this position of himself. He doesn't have a jurisdiction. He's not limited to the nature of what he can do. He's still running his companies, right? He still has say. He still has a lot of influence. He's putting it to the test, right? He's putting the power, putting the pedal to the metal, so to speak. So let's take a look at the cards of why Elon is getting involved with that. I'm basically feeling as good as he's being told to. But let's see what the cards have to say. I'm pulling out a new deck here and see what they got to say. All right, let's see. Oh yeah, he's being guided. He's being told, Elon, focus on this. What about this, right? He has people around him that are kind of supporting him. It's interesting. This Elon Musk, whether he's the real Elon Musk or not, he has connections to extraterrestrials. Okay, he has some interesting people, and I don't know if he's aware of it. I mean, here he is, right? The guy of SpaceX and all that stuff. He has some very deep connections. I'm thinking maybe to incognitos, to maybe incognito ETs. He has some very interesting friends. And I'm not too sure if he is aware that some of these friends are off planet or not. If he is, Mr. Fruit Fly, what are you doing? Shoot, shoot, shoot. No more programming, no mind control with these fruit flies here. This is usually what happens, right? They try to get some particular type of insect to break you out of your trance. And some of these things do happen pertaining to these mind control situations that do occur, right? Especially if you're being watched on YouTube and you're getting a lot of influence. They start using insects and animals to try and break you out of your trance. It's very interesting. That's how they do it. They can easily mind control those things. Anyways, back to my answer, I should say. This is really what I'm seeing, is that I feel like he is being guided off-world. world as well too. So I feel he has some off-planet liaisons that are giving him some good information, and maybe they come nonchalantly to him and saying it's a good idea maybe to look into this, right? Because he was basically getting his nose into Canada, and he was getting his nose into the UK, right? Into European politics. And that's just how he is. He's a man of influence. He has no jurisdiction. And I think if what he's doing is really helping a lot of people, then let him continue to do it. Okay. So I feel like he's going to have a lot of big influence. I think he's going to be part of a big momentum of pulling certain people out of power, because that's the power he has. Like I said, he's followed by so many millions of people. It's one of the most popular people on the planet right now. It's Elon Musk, right? So he's going to direct his energy to certain things, and he's going to call out certain people. And all of those politicians that are basically playing dirty, Elon is basically going to call them out. Say, this is exactly what's going to happen to you, and so on and so forth, and bait and switch them, and then they're going to be pulled out, just as like what he was doing with Trudeau. Okay, as far as Justin Trudeau goes, he's finished. He's done. Would not surprise me before the end of the month he's pulled out of this whole thing. Like we saw with the whole Mar-a-Lago situation there, he was basically treated, and pardon my French, everybody, he was treated like a little bitch. Okay, simply like that. And basically there were people that were police officers, U.S. Marshals, that were escorting him up into like a hotel, up to a hotel room. He's pretty much finished. So they basically get the walk of shame. And that is exactly what's happening. That's kind of corresponding to some of the visions I've had back in 2020, 2021. I would see him being escorted through a lobby with police officers. And just before that time, you're under arrest. So there you go. He's finished. He's done. He's out of the picture. I doubt he will last through 2025. Okay. So King of Swords, like I said, this is exactly what Musk is doing. Okay. He is laying down the law because he has no jurisdiction, because he's able to stretch his reach as far as he damn well pleases. And he's doing it, right? He owns X/Twitter. He owns SpaceX. He owns Tesla. He's got all of this. He's running Doge with Vivek Ramaswamy. He has so much collective power right now, and he can stretch his tendrils as far out as he wants, and he's going to do that because that is him. He is a man of influence. People follow him, right? So there's a lot of other things I think that he's going to do, which the tarot really isn't telling me, but it's going to be very, very good for humanity, okay? And I feel he's going to be involved in a lot of different types of politics, and he's going to be an influencer to take a lot of these old dirty players out and put something new in. That's part of his role. That's part of what he's been assigned to do here. Okay. Whether he's the Elon Musk for real or not, who cares? What matters is he has presence and he's working with it, right? Okay, let's go ahead and move on. But we're not going to use that deck again. It's too slippery. All right, let's go ahead and move on. Thank you again, Mary, for your question. Okay. Hi, Brad. Is it true that Trump will reveal the truth about Macron? It's time for France to wake up. Oh, yeah. Big time. I don't even need to look at anything for that. Absolutely. There are going to be people who are going to be so exposed. And I don't think it's just going to be Trump. It could be Elon Musk as well, too. Okay. You would almost think that Elon Musk is almost like the unofficial vice president of the United States. Actually, I'd probably even go further than that. You would probably think that Elon Musk is actually the president. I think Trump is here, but Elon is about here, right? Here's Trump. Here's Elon. Elon is way higher up than Trump. Okay, Elon can do a lot more than Trump can. He doesn't need to be a politician to do it. Okay, everybody who is twisted and corrupt and sick and completely, dirty in all the ways that you can describe, is out of here. They are going, my friends. They are not sticking around. Right? They are not going to be trying to bury themselves in a little hole and try to make sure that all this stuff will just pass, so that they can rise from the dirt again and try to do all this nonsense once more. No, they are out of here. Okay, Macron is out of here. Trudeau is out of here. Right, the Vatican is out of here. Right, all of these dirty politicians that have been following nothing but the status quo of the Khazarian mafia and these cabals are out of here. They're done. They are not going to survive. They are finished. Okay. And we're going to continue to see how that unfolds in the upcoming weeks and months ahead. But yes, someone like Macron, someone like Zelensky, someone like Trudeau, right? Name anybody else you want there that you know is dirty to the core. Out of here. They're done. They're gone. They're finished. There is a zero tolerance policy for those kind of corrupt people. They're not allowed to rule anymore. They are not allowed to oversee all the things that they have been doing. They will get out of here. And again, we're still in 2024. We're still trudging through some mud. 2025 is a different ball game. So yes, we are most certainly going to see not just Trump reveal that. I would probably look more towards Elon Musk. Okay. So yes, that's what I feel is happening. Elon Musk has way more power than Trump does. Way more. Trump can't even compare to the reach that Elon has. Elon has it all. He would really be the president much more than Trump would be, right? He's got the power right now. It's just how it is. He basically has the scepter. He basically has the crown, but he's basically being kept in kind of more of an unofficial capacity other than Doge. But like I said, he really is the one that's going to be turning everything around. That's the influence that he has. Okay, let's move on. Okay, here's one from Gijo Matthew. So Gijo says, Adronis, are we still on track for an inverted winter solstice? So first question for Adronis today. So yes, I will go ahead and bring him in, and we will see exactly where we're headed with this winter solstice. Here we go. And we have a donation-based question, so I'll get to that right after we're done. Okay, here we go. Chair's a bit slippery today. Okay, here we go. Terra Soul Star Sirius Adrones. We are here. At this time, we bid you greetings and thank you very much for the opportunity of this interaction today. I am Adronis of Sirius, sending love, appreciation, and gratitude to all who are tuning in to this broadcast through your internet collective consciousness. We thank you, Gijo Matthew, for your question pertaining to the winter solstice. Is this still on track? Does your sun rise and does your sun set? Yes. So why don't you think that the winter solstice would not be on track in regards to what we've shared? This is not something that is changeable. You cannot stop the sun from rising. You cannot stop the sun from setting. Therefore, you cannot stop a solstice. That is a natural formation. As we have talked about, what is special about this solstice is it's energetic. It's energetic as how it is actually being turned around. It is no longer being used for manipulation purposes. It is a fresh solstice. So it is re-inverting itself, moving it back into the state of true harmony. And this is leading to a significant state of change. It is a benchmark of incredible change. It is leading you into such incredible change that you never thought would actually happen. You're already just starting to see it. And as we told you, several weeks, a couple of months before the solstice happens, you are going to be getting a sneak peek of what will be happening upon your planet that many of you simply will not believe. Not only through the idea of your Donald Trump coming back into presidency, but seeing all of these massive changes that are afoot. Seeing exactly what is taking place behind your scenes, where you're actually starting to see prosperity coming back to the people again. Everything is being set in place for that to happen. The earth is now going to start moving into a state of prosperity because there is going to be much more of a majority working together with technology that will start to benefit the earth and not harm her anymore. You are going to see, again, new forms of education that are going to be much more beneficial for your civilization, that will not have to be paid for. You are going to see programs that are going to unfold that will completely eliminate your debt. You are also going to find opportunities of monetary systems that can help you to have an accumulation of great wealth. That will come through what you refer to as your cryptocurrencies, but that is also going to come through much more prosperity programs of what people can do to actually sign up to these programs so that they never have to really worry about debt ever again. You will prosper through the natural funds that will come together. Everything is being assembled into a new form of what you would say banking institutions. Banking institutions are going to have a new face. The old face is being removed, and a new face is going to come together. And they will be many of the hosts for this new type of prosperity that we're talking about throughout your times as you move through 2025, yes, but primarily 2026 to 2028, particularly around those times. This is where the fruit of that action is going to unfold. And the benchmark to where this is happening is shortly before your inverted solstice, as we have told you. This is what's happening. This is what's unfolding. The sun is now starting to rise. The dawn is now starting to come. You're no longer in pitch black midnight anymore. You're no longer in the earlier hours of the morning to where there is only darkness. You are now starting to move and you're starting to see the crack of dawn. And as time progresses and the sun starts to rise in the sky, greater prosperity will come together. But right now, yes, everything that's taking place is still transitional in its wake. And this is happening because it's all part of people working together to get the old out of the way and bring the new forward. The inverted solstice represents the idea of re-inversion, working together with a natural solstice that is not going to be manipulated by dark forces, but by the light, by bringing it back into its natural cycle, to bring about an ushering in of a benchmark that represents the new beginnings of prosperity on your planet in many different endeavors that will benefit the entire world and not the few. All right. So yes, it is happening. We thank you very much for your question. Okay, great. Thank you, Jijo, for your question. So let's go to, we got two donation-based questions. Oh, no, sorry, we got one. That was the old one. Okay, this one here is from Ramari J. Hi, Brad. Can you give us some insight about Guam? A lot of people have been hurt by the cure. Will the people realize what? Oh, okay. Marie, we have to kind of keep this down. Okay. I understand what you're trying to say, but like I said, if I get into that, this channel can get flagged. Okay. So, Marie, what I would like you to do is to take your question and please send it to me by email. I would love to answer your question over the air, but because we're still under the guise of censorship here, I don't want this channel getting risk for the flag if I'm talking about that kind of stuff. Okay, so please drop me an email, bradjohnson79@gmail.com, or just go to wisdomtransmissions.com, go to the contact page, and just bring me your question there. Okay, I'll be happy to answer it to you privately. As much as I would love to answer it here, guys, we are under the guise of censorship, so we have to be careful. I'm really trying not to take any inoculation-based questions anymore. Okay, I know it's important, but like I said, until this whole censorship garbage is over with, I have to be careful with the type of questions that I get. Okay, so please email me. I'll be happy to answer that to you in private. Okay, thank you very much. All right, let's go ahead and move on. Let's see here. Okay, so woman, I'm not doing personal readings, but I do have an answer for you because this is something that a lot of people have a problem with. Okay, so your question is kind of more semi-general, or semi-personal, I should say. So if you're doing any readings, please look into how I can heal my throat. I've tried so many natural things. I don't have health insurance. I can't even swallow saliva. It hurts bad. Okay. So here's exactly what we do. And it's a very, very simple technique. Everybody can do it because the people who have done it, they have come to me and said, Brad, my God, this works. Okay. Very, very simple. Anybody who has a sore throat or sore chest or sore back, or they're stiff, or they have aches and pains, if they have chronic conditions, one simple technique that you do. Number one, get your spine straight. Okay. Sit in a chair just like this. Okay. Because what a lot of people will do is they'll slouch. I'll see them on camera. They're doing this. Don't do that. Okay. Sit straight. Get your spine erect. Number two, tuck in the ab muscles a little bit. Okay. So just tighten your ab muscles. Okay. What this is doing is this is keeping the prana in the chest. This is where your immune system is. Your immune system is right here. It's not down here. Okay. It's in the chest. So with your ab muscles slightly tucked in, this is called a navel lock. Okay, this is called Uddiyana Bandha, okay, in yoga. So we do that. We keep our spine nice and erect. We start to breathe into the nose very slowly. Okay. While you're breathing into the nose, I want you to see white light. Okay. So just close your eyes and just see the color white, right? Look at my shirt. There you go. If that helps you. See the color white, right? If you have a hard time visualizing, believe me, guys, you can visualize, right? Everybody can visualize. There's just layers of it. There's certain levels, okay? But just breathe in the white light, okay? Just like you're holding this incense or this essence of white light right here, and you're breathing it in, okay? Once you breathe it in, I want you to hold for 1, 2, 3, and then open your mouth. Let out the black smoke, okay? So as you're breathing in that white light is healing energy. That white light is love energy. That white light is divine energy. That white light is responsible for bringing your body back into its harmonious, neutral, optimal state of well-being, okay? So I want everybody to do this with me right now. Scan your body. Find a part of your body that is unsettled. Find a part of your body that's uncomfortable. Find a part of your body that's stiff, that's achy, anything of that nature, okay? Be aware of that area. Sit up straight. Keep your spine erect. Tuck in your abs. Okay, you have ab muscles. You can use them, okay? So just like you're holding this white ball, right, and just inhaling it slowly. As you're inhaling, let all of that white light go into the area that is the issue in your body. Okay, so for the questioner here, sorry, I forgot your name, put it in your throat. Okay, breathe in the white light through your throat. Hold it for 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. Exhale. You're breathing out all of that black smoke, all of that black fog that represents the tendencies of the issue in question, okay? You're purging it out of your body. And we do this again and 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 again until it's gone, okay? That is all you need, my friends. You don't need any magic pills. Okay, you don't need to eat some sort of diet that says, oh, it's going to get rid of your throat. No. This is something that happens so incredibly quickly. And as you're inhaling that light, it is like manifestation light. As you're breathing in that light to that area that is compromised, right, you're seeing it reform back into its natural state. And then you're holding your breath for 3 seconds. Count 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. And then exhale. And what you're doing is you're spewing out, you're purging out all of that dense energy that's causing the problem. Okay, my friends, this works. Okay, this works for everything. And I just refer to it as the white light breath. Okay, you're using the white light breath to purge out any particular form of diseases, illnesses, stiffnesses. I don't care what you have. Emotional situations. Find out where the emotion is in the body. Right? See its tendency. Breathe in the white light. Hold it there for 3 seconds. Exhale out the black smoke. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. Right? And you want to do this religiously. right? You want to basically worship this because this is the white light of yourself. This is your true divine nature. This is your true divine essence that you're breathing in, holding, and then letting all of that debris come out as you exhale through the mouth. Exhale through the mouth. Don't worry about doing it through the nose. Okay, we're not doing heart rate variability here. We're not doing Rachaka. Okay, we're just breathing in the white light. This is an attunement exercise. Okay, so I'm going to leave that with you. I would recommend everybody do that. Pass it on to people who are sick. Here's the white light breath. Okay, you don't have to be religious to do it. You don't have to be spiritual to do it. It's just something that works together through the power of your mind. Okay, pass on the white light breath to everybody. Make everybody feel better. Okay. All right, so that was for Woo Woo Woman. Sorry, thank you for that, Woo Woo Woman. Okay, so please try that. Work with that as much as you can. Okay. Okay, so we got two other donation-based questions here. I'm going to start off here with Mr. E33. They ask, where do you see Dogecoin in the future? So let me go ahead and pull out my magic pen. And let's take a look at Dogecoin. Okay. It's going up too. It's going to go up too. It's not going to skyrocket as much as XRP, okay? But I would say that could be like the second coin to look into. If we're basically looking at coins that are just starting to make a name for themselves, Dogecoin would be one because, like I said, Elon Musk is very much behind Dogecoin, but I think he's also more behind XRP, okay? So my feeling is that it's kind of like a second runner, right? It's like a runner up to XRP. I do feel it'll start to get better. If I'm kind of looking through the Akasha here, I'm looking at Dogecoin's folder. I'm kind of looking at everything here. 2026 seems to be the year for Dogecoin, okay? Not 2025. 2025, it'll have highs and lows. 2026 seems to be the year for Dogecoin. If I'm kind of looking through the Akashic folder and I'm holding it and it says, I'm getting the feeling of a flash, like 2026 is the year for it, okay? So it's going to get higher. But like I said, I think through 2025, it'll have some highs and some lows and all that. I don't feel it'll be as prominent as XRP, but I think Dogecoin has a really great future to it, particularly around 2026. This is why Adronis was saying a lot of different cryptocurrencies are going to have their years in the sun between 2026 and 2028, with the exception of XRP, because XRP is going to skyrocket even more, even in 2025. Okay, so that's what I'm getting. Take it for what it's worth. Right? All right, thank you very much, Mr. E33. And now I'll go to Scott here. Scott has a question. You've talked about USA and Canada bridging in the future. Is this still years down the road? I'm trying to get into the States from Canada. Okay. Well, we noticed that something that made headlines not too long ago was Trump talking to Justin Trudeau, basically talking about the logging industry and that he's stealing $100 billion out of the United States. And if he doesn't knock it off, then Canada is going to become the 51st state of the US. Now, that is not a joke, okay? He's basically trying to imply it like it is something, oh, he's just teasing and stuff. No, no. In the past, I've talked about what's known as the North American Union, okay? And it's going to start between Canada and the US, okay? They are, in essence, going to eventually become one country. I don't know when that's going to start, though. I don't know when that's going to happen precisely. It could be within the next couple of years. It's certainly not going to be right away, no. But I feel it's going to start off with Canada and the US kind of forming a conglomeration, okay? They are basically going to be one country. So the provinces of Canada will basically be states in that way. So I don't know if they're part of the United States or if there's just a new North American Union where there still is Canada, but Canada is now associated with the US and it's part of the US. And now borders are opening between Canada and the US because Canada and the US are one and the same. So it could go a couple of different ways. I don't have an exact answer about how it will go. But what I'm feeling is that those two countries are going to merge, okay? In time later on, Mexico is going to merge with Canada and the US as well too, okay? And then we have the North American Union. Now, what may also happen much later down the road is both the North and the South Americas are going to become one country, okay? But that could be quite a ways down the road. Right now, it feels like Canada and the US may be merging. but we don't know exactly when that will happen. If I'm kind of doing a quick akasha on this about Canada and the US merging as one country, I'm just getting no, not for a while, not for a while. Okay, but the plans are certainly happening. Okay. There's certain roots that need to be cut out. There's certain, it's kind of like gardening work, right? We have to cut out certain roots, but Trump is hinting at something. Okay, so it could be a couple of years still before that does take place. We just have to kind of look at it frequently and see. Not too frequently, really, because it's going to be a couple of years of wait. But that is something that is going to unfold in time. So yes, eventually Canada, US, Mexico will be one particular country. It's not going to be separate with Canada, US, and Mexico. Everything pretty much is going to be one country. So whether they keep that country and they're basically under an association with the US or anything of that nature, I don't know, right? Or if it is basically that Canada is no more and it basically is the United States, and now British Columbia all the way down to Nova Scotia, Newfoundland are American, right? We'll see. I don't have a definite answer for that, but as far as the two of those countries coming together and conglomerating and shifting together, most definitely. Okay, but it could still be a ways away yet. So we'll see how things happen. And Brianne has come home with groceries. Hi, honey. All right. So anyways, that's what I can share, Scott, pertaining to that question. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But it does feel like it's still a bit of a time away. But he's certainly hinting at something for the future. All right. Very good question. Thank you for that. All right. Let's go on. Let's move down the list here a bit more. Carol Ann says, hi, Brad. I have a question for Adronis. Best natural supplement for disc issues throughout the spinal area. I don't know of any. Okay. I really don't know of any. And again, you're kind of asking the wrong person, Caroline. Okay, I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not a dietitian, right? I'm not a herbalist or anything of that nature. I'm an energy specialist. So Caroline, if you want to ask me what you can do to help with the spinal area, work with the white light breath like I told you. Okay, so you work with the white light breath, you breathe it in, you breathe it out. Okay, Etherics also has a lot of different technologies that can help you out. Okay, if you are having problems with discs within the back, how is your posture each day? How is your bed that you sleep in? How do you sleep, right? So again, we can aggravate those discs. Are we doing a lot of moving around and bending in ways that we shouldn't be doing? Are we doing some therapeutic work? Guys, there's no such thing as a magic pill, okay? And you got to get out of that mentality of thinking there needs to be a supplement that helps with my disc issues. No, there isn't. What's going to help you with your disc issues is working with your breath. Your breath is the magic pill, right? Aligning yourself is the magic pill. Working together with energy products, whether it's etherics, whether it's going in for ozone therapy, right? That can help as well too. But there's no magic formula in a pill that's going to help you with herniated discs or anything of that nature, okay? Work with the body, start breath work, okay? Yoga helps, breath work helps, working together with like the healing code cards. Radiate, okay, that helps. All of these different things help. It's a combination of different things. But I am not a nutritionist, everybody. Please don't ask me nutritionist-based questions or herbalist-based questions, because that's not my industry. My industry is energy work. That's what I do, okay? Thank you very much for your question. All right. Okay, this one here is from John. John says, hi, Brad, a question. Can Adronis talk about how we can anchor ether to work and benefit here on Earth? I'm not too sure if you're referring to the ether. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. Well, let's go in and explain this a little bit more. Okay. One moment. We thank you very much, John, for your question. You cannot anchor ether into the Earth. Ether has no objectness to it. It is not a thing. You cannot simply inject the ether into the work of the Earth. All right. Now, what you can do is you can bring about divinity within yourself. Brad has also talked about this recently through the idea of recrystallizing the entire Earth. John, have you watched that video? We would suggest you watch it. All right. Because that's one example. So what you're doing is you're taking everything that represents the divine within yourself. Think of a precious moment. Think of something very powerful that has made your heart sing. That true power that resides within you. Take that ball of energy and now think of every single person you've ever met. Think of every single place you've ever been, every single event you've ever personally experienced. Take a deep breath in. Holding that ball as you hold your breath, and then letting it out as you exhale to all of those things. Exhale. You have now done a great service recrystallizing all of those elements of your life by what you have just done. That is how you're anchoring your divinity, the power of your own bliss, your own joy, your own happiness towards all of those that represent your circle of experience. All places that are part of your circle of experience, all events that represent your circle of experience from the conscious to the subconscious have now been imprinted with this divine energy that you have put forward. That's recrystallizing the earth. You could certainly go further, but we don't believe any of you have actually gone beyond your planet. But this is what you're doing. Everything that you know from the conscious to the subconscious, and bringing forward that love, that power, that divinity, that bliss, that happiness, that joy, filling it up like a ball and seeing all of it as you breathe in. Hold your breath just for a moment. Exhale and let the ball out. That is how you are bringing about change, because you have impacted everything consciously and subconsciously. That is very powerful. You see, you do not know of the power that you just wielded. You have imprinted people in your life, every single person, people you love, people you don't really know too well, people who you may despise. You've just imprinted them with the divinity strength blueprint of yourself. You've just done that. And you can do it again and again and again and again. Every single place that you have walked that you have that realization of experience with has now been imprinted with your blueprint of joy, bliss, happiness, and divinity. That's what you're doing. There is nothing more efficient than that, because that is going into your data banks, and that is enabling every single person you've ever met, every single place you've ever gone, every single experience you've had is now laced with that divine blueprint of yourself. Take enjoyment in that. Let yourself go into these higher states of bliss and continue to do this daily. You are making an impact. All right? We thank you for your question. Okay. Yes, John, that is very true. So I hope you have watched that video of mine. That's one of my newest videos on the YouTube channel, okay, where I'm in the truck and I'm talking about recrystallizing the entire world. Okay, it works. I've had people who have come to me and said, Brad, I've done that, and like my my problems in my body is now starting to dissolve away. I can breathe easier because I'm doing that. And it's so simple, everybody. Guys, do you know what the most simple thing to do next to breathing on the planet is? Enlightenment. Enlightenment is by far the easiest thing for you to accomplish. Why? Because the only thing that's preventing you from moving into enlightenment is your own traumas, your own desires, your own reactions. Once you know how to clear those out, and that's where I'm hinting at, trauma transcendence technique e-course. Once you know how to clear all of those out, enlightenment is simple. Okay. What do I mean by enlightenment? The shackles of the world are off of you, which means you are no longer being kept prisoner by the suffering of everything that your traumas, your desires, the ego is trying to hold on to you with. You're dropping all the shackles. It's someone whose eyes are open. They're no longer playing with the illusions. They're still walking upon this world. They're still doing their work. They're still doing their stuff. Okay. They're still who they are, but they're not shackled by that, right? We just get this impression that as soon as you're an enlightened being, you have to wear a saffron robe. You got to get an alms ball, and you need to go find the nearest bush. No, that is just make-believe nonsense. Okay, and maybe there are some people that decide to go out into nature and decide to live off nature, and that's fine. Do you have to do it? Not at all. To truly be an enlightened being on this planet is that nothing touches you that represents suffering. You've cleared it all out. Okay? I'm happy to say, my friends, I have cleared it all out. There's nothing in this world that causes me to suffer anymore. And this is why I want to give this gift back. And that's why I'm doing it through Trauma Transcendence Technique. It's free. It's a 10-day course. It's completely free. You're getting an email every single day, and you're checking it out. Right? And this is my way of saying, I'm going to take this even further. I'm going to take this even further, and I think I'm going to have to rock the boat quite a bit. And maybe I have to get into some controversial stuff and tell things. You know, everybody who has been discarded by the medical industries, everyone who has been discarded by psychologists and psychiatrists because they can't be helped, come to me, because I'll certainly help you, right? And what I'm going to be doing here, especially as we get into the new year, is I'm going to be looking for people who have PTSD, most definitely, because I'm going to work with them for free. And I am going to guarantee you that if I work with you, and if you have PTSD, I will get your PTSD out of you like that. Okay? And that's something that we're going to work with. I'm going to start that in 2025. It'll be a campaign on my website starting in the early part of January. I'm going to get 10 volunteers who have PTSD, who basically just have to do a couple of prerequisites with me. And I'm going to work with you for free. And there's just a couple conditions. One of them is just getting a testimonial of your experience so that you can see it. And we are going to clear out your PTSD. Okay? People in that sense who have also been heavily sick. I'm going to have a second campaign that will come after that. Okay? People who have basically been discarded by doctors. And maybe they have problems with schizophrenia. Maybe they have problems with sleeping at night. Maybe they're restless, whatever it may be. I'm going to work with those people, a select amount of people, for free. And the only proviso is just follow a couple of these prerequisites, right? And then being able to perform a testimonial afterwards. And we're going to rejuvenate you. Okay? This is not medical stuff. This is all part of inner work. This is inner work. This is inner development. Okay? So that's exactly what I'm going to be doing, is these campaigns starting after the start of the new year. And I'll be keeping you guys informed about that. Okay. So I know some people will email me right away. I said, well, just hang on. I'm going to get the campaign going here in early January, and then you'll have an opportunity to come together with me. Okay. And I'm going to basically show the whole world that I am able to work with a person who has the most severe PTSD, and now it's gone. Because I've worked with people with PTSD. And do you know how we heal PTSD? We break it down into chunks. It's like you're looking at a whole pie, and you cut it into sections. And you work with the sections that are, that may be pretty intense, but you can still bear. And we do trauma transcendence technique. That part of the pie is gone. 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 And after a few sessions, your PTSD is gone. Okay, so we're going to work with that. And like I said, this is the whole key, my friends, to enlightenment. To move into enlightenment is to be yourself. It is to see everything without the blinders on. There's no blindfold on you anymore. It is a beautiful world, and all of us can be enlightened beings on this planet. And that's my goal, is to try and get as many enlightened beings on this planet as possible before I leave, before I die. Okay, that's my new mission statement for 2025. Get as many enlightened beings on this planet as possible before I kick the bucket. All right. So let's go ahead and move on. It's a bit of a segue, but there you have it. Okay, this one here is from Paul. Paul says, I've heard that the Vietnam War was a cover for an invasion of the cabal on Venus through a portal in Vietnam. I would like to know if this is valid, and if so, how are they faring? I've never heard of anything like that, but all right, let's take a look. Okay, so a cover for an invasion of the cabal on Venus through a portal in Vietnam. No. Sorry, I'm pulling up the folder for that. Okay, portal in Vietnam to Venus. No, there is nothing of that that's true. Not that I can see. I'm really just looking at an empty folder. If there's something, I'll get like a little, twitch or something of that nature. And I'll say, okay, there's something there. There is absolutely no truth to that story whatsoever. Sorry, Paul. Okay. It's not to say that there aren't portals upon the planet, but humans, I mean, basically we would say that the administrators beyond the earth have done a very thorough job to ensure that humans can't just sneak into a portal and all of a sudden they're on another planet. Okay. It doesn't work that way. There's a very thorough job, because if you're looking into portal technology really requires a great amount of energy from the earth herself to operate, because this is an incredible power supply. Now, you can basically power it through ley lines, but that depends in regards to where you are in the world. And there are certain portals that do exist, but a lot of those portals connect to the inner fabrics of the earth. They're interdimensional in that way, just like we see with the Bermuda Triangle, just like we see with the Dragon Triangle, just as we may see with certain stargates that are contained in Antarctica. It's not to say that Vietnam may not have something like that, but the idea of it moving to Venus, extremely doubtful. Okay. And as I was pulling up the folder, I wasn't seeing anything about that. No, that was not it, right? Basically, Vietnam has a lot of resources. They do have a lot of ancient relics. They do have a lot of ancient technology, but nothing in regards to a portal to Venus. So sorry to tell you, my friend, but I wasn't getting anything of that nature. Okay. Even if you want, we can look into a quick reading for the tarot. The tarot can answer that. Is there a portal in Vietnam? But when we go through it, it connects to Venus. Okay, let's take a look. So I'll do a second sweep of it with the tarot here. Yeah. First thing, sorry, man, that's bunk. Yeah. Walk away. It's not true, unfortunately. That's like the first card I pull. I don't even need to go further after that. Sorry, my friend, it's bunk. Right? So like I said, yes, there are portals, but nothing that would lead directly to that. An invasion, my friends, if there was even an invasion on Venus from humanity, they would be disarmed so incredibly quick. Nothing of theirs would work. Venus is so incredibly advanced, right? Just with a simple thought, they would convince you to not even be malice, to not have any malice in you. They would convince you to basically drop your weapons right away. You would lose the will to fight if you basically looked at a Venusian emissary, or a Venusian official, you could say. They are so powerful mentally that if you have a whole squadron of people with guns, they just give that person a look and then they'll lose the will to fight and they're done. Okay. That's an example of how powerful the Venusians are. Okay. So that's why I don't buy that. Sorry, but I'm not too sure where you heard that. I'm pretty sure it wasn't from you, but pretty much BS. Sorry about that. But thank you for your question anyway, Paul. I appreciate it. Okay. How are we on time? We got about 10 minutes left. Okay. Let's see here. Sorry, there's a couple of other questions here I'm just missing, so I'm just going up here to the top. Okay, let's start off with Julie here. Julie says, will they stop spraying us with chemicals and taking away our sunlight? Yes. They certainly will. But like I said, my friends, we are at the tail end of this trudging through the mud. Okay, they're still going to try and do it. There's still a lot of stuff like that happening. I have talked about where chemtrails are actually being turned into counter trails right now. It's not happening all over the world, but it is starting to happen. Right? There's a lot of factories that were creating these nasty chemicals of chemtrails in that sense. Even like just the other day, I was seeing a whole barrage of chemtrails coming together. Certain places this is happening pertaining to counter trails. Certain places still have chemtrails, but it's basically being taken out of. I've looked into the tarot so many times pertaining to the chemtrails, and it's basically saying this agenda is going to be coming to an end. And I feel like there may be a very big exposure about that. I feel like there may be something, I'm not sure if it's a film or a documentary or a piece of news or something like that. Something really big, perhaps in 2025, is going to come that is actually going to expose the whole chemtrail situation. Right? And maybe that's the big change around as well too, because I just keep saying, sorry, this is not going to continue. The whole chemtrail thing is going to go, and they're going to have things like counter trails that are going to come together and have to clean up the atmosphere in its place, and that's already happening in many different places of the world. This is just what I'm getting from source. Right? I've had people mad at me for saying this because of chemtrails. Oh, and bro, there's no countertrails. It's all chemtrails. It's all chemtrails. Well, you're right. Some places do have chemtrails, and you're right about that. But I'm also getting that there are countertrails at the same time that are able to absorb a lot of those chemicals out of the atmosphere so that this guy can breathe again. Okay. So will they stop? That's coming. It's very imminent. Okay. So we may start seeing something like that happening in 2025. Okay. That's what I can share about that. From what I've looked at it so many times in the past. That's one of the most popular questions I get is about chemtrails. Okay. And I'm, again, trying not to talk about it too much because there's this, right, with the censorship. I've already gotten like a thing on the bottom of the video. Oh, this is the whole thing about chemtrails. It's a conspiracy theory. Right? It's stupidness. Right? Okay, let's go to Chris Smith here. Hello, Chris. What do you foresee in Switzerland in the times to come? It's not in the NATO and says it's neutral. Okay, well, I have looked into Switzerland. See, there's that fruit fly. It's coming back. It does that to try and break me out of my flow to do that. So this is exactly what happens when you have a lot of the watchers, so to speak, that are trying to shut you up. They'll basically find a fly, they'll find a mosquito, they'll find a fruit fly, they'll find anything to try and break you out of your trance so that you're not getting the information you're trying to get. Isn't that interesting? Right? But that's what happens. Anyways, I have talked about Switzerland quite a bit. Okay, they are moving through some significant changes, but I'll do the tarot on this one to see about what do I foresee for Switzerland in the times to come. It's not in NATO, and it says it's neutral. So I'll do a 5-card reading on Switzerland, and let's see what we get. See what comes up. Well, it kind of gives me the impression, I think, that Switzerland has been bullied quite a bit, okay? Because basically what we're seeing here, I think, is we're seeing the end of their rule, right? Because they've had some very, very shady characters as part of their government for a very long time. And I think this is exactly what's happening to them, okay? As that starts to happen, we're seeing them turn over a new leaf, okay? So what do I see with Switzerland? A change in government, a transitional change in government, in politics, okay? Maybe there's a new leader coming together. Maybe there's a new cabinet, whatever it may be, that is really going to hammer down on all of this corruption. Okay, so that's coming for Switzerland as well too. The strength and resources representing this is that they're still going. I think they're going to try and create maybe a homelessness campaign, or they're going to try and create a fear campaign to feel like people are starving, or they're being cast out, or maybe they're losing money. Maybe there's taxation coming together. So this usually means an idea of being cast out into the cold. So I'm not too sure if it's referring to. Let me just tune into that for a second. If it's tuning into the people, if it's tuning into the politicians. Okay, no, this is for the politicians. They're being cast out. Okay, so this is actually a very good thing. They're going to be cast out. So everything that represents the riffraff of Switzerland is going to be meeting its end. Okay, and you could almost say like there's a new beginning unfolding here. I don't want to use the word hope because hope's a desire, but looking into the idea of a new beginning, a new unfolding for Switzerland. So I feel like you guys are still going to go through a little bit of the mud, right? You're still going through a bit of the muck right now, and that may continue maybe up to early 2025, and there may be something new that's coming together that's going to change all of this around, change the face of it, so to speak. Okay, and I feel like the greedy politicians there are going to be chucked in the mud. Again, I don't know what is going on with Switzerland right now. I don't follow that. Like I said, I hardly follow my own local politics, right? But it feels like there's going to be an ousting pertaining to that. You're walking kind of and trudging in the mud right now, but it is certainly going to change. Okay. Thank you, Chris, for your question. Okay. Anne asked this question: Dear Jonas and Brad, will our family members who have extensive disabilities such as autism and intellectual disabilities be able to live normal lives in the future? Firstly, and you have to understand how a lot of these things are caused. Okay. Now, basically, certain poisons and certain infections and certain things like that can cause these disabilities to happen, but only partially, right? The majority of why people are in such extensive disabilities is because of their own internal appearance of themselves, right? It is their own suffering. It is everything that represents what they have held on to. It is through their beliefs. It is through their traumas. It is through their desires. It is through their reactions. It's how they see the world. It is how they see themselves. And will our family members be able to move past that, live normal lives? That's up to them, right? I would love to say, oh yeah, there's new technology that's going to come out and make everybody better. It doesn't work that way, right? You can certainly have technology that can help you to a certain degree. It can help along the way, but that's not the problem. The problem is people are agonizing in a duality, right? They are in duality with themselves. They're in duality with their families. They're in duality with money. They're in duality with their living situations. They're in duality with extended family. They're in duality with governments. They're in duality with politics. Everything in regards to them, their emotions are overwhelming. In the biblical times, they would always refer to someone as being a sinner. Okay. Now, what happens, of course, is the churches have perverted that word. But sin primarily relates to an Egyptian moon goddess, right? And the moon is the key here. And that sin itself simply represents emotion. And when you basically have sin, because they still use that rhetoric in a lot of ancient scripts, a lot of ancient texts that go beyond the Abrahamic religions. Sin was actually something that was used quite a bit in the old times. What that means is that you're temporarily insane. Okay, that's basically what sin was meant to say. You're temporarily insane, take no thought. You're temporarily insane because you are so overwhelmed by heavy emotions. The emotions are so heavy upon you that you are crippling yourself. Science today, my friends, has already shown through scientific evidence, physical evidence, that when you are angry, your body is poisoned. When you have nothing but anger, bitterness, contentment, heavy fear, heavy anxiety in your heart, you have poisoned your body. Okay. Yes, they are doing certain things to the food. Yes, they're doing all kinds of stuff that we can put into our bodies that are slowing down our life. But what's slowing us down the most is our own quote unquote sins. And that's the emotions. You have poisoned yourself with anger. You have poisoned yourself with sadness. You have poisoned yourself with fear. And that is the main culprit. And through this comes all of these different traumas: abandonment, rejection, abuse, escape, addiction, right? Through this comes through us trying to hang on to desires. And desires are probably the biggest poison. Desires are more poisonous than traumas are, okay? The desires, because this is talked about in the Trauma Transcendence Technique course as well too, is that the desires and reaction are really the poison that is crippling people. That is what's making you disabled more than anything else. Because I have worked with people personally, okay? I've been doing my healing work, my friends, now for well over 16 years, okay? And I have seen people of all different kinds who have a lot of this poisoning in their body, and sometimes it is heavy metals. Sometimes it is, again, bad food eating. Sometimes it is pollution and so forth. Sometimes it is, the poke as we know it. But it goes even deeper than that, because even if we cleaned all of that up, guess what would happen to the person? They're still miserable. They're still sick, and they're still ill. And when I have worked with people, and I basically have gone into spirit, one particular story I can share with all of you is I was in Japan. It was around 2018. And I had a client who was coming to see me, and she told me that her brother was in the hospital, and they didn't think that he was going to live more than a few more days. He had all of this fluid in his lungs. And so I told the woman, okay, well, I will go ahead and I will work with your brother. Okay. And so they showed me a picture of him, and then I tuned into him, and I basically just told spirit, okay, there's all of this sickness in his lungs. There's all of this hurt. There's all of this anxiety. There's all of this fear. There's all of this anger. Let's purge all of that out of the body. Let's clear it out completely. The next day, the person wakes up from the hospital and his fluid in his lungs are gone. Now, looking at that, what does that tell you? This is not about chemtrails. This is not about pokes. This is not about dirty food. It's not about any of that, because if you have the right mentality, none of that could touch you anyways. What this is about is your inner anguish. What this is about is your inner duality. What this is about is your suffering through the causes of desires, reactions, traumas. That is the true poison in your body. And all I did was work with spirit to clear all of that trauma, all of that debris that is responsible for him not even being able to really breathe, having to be on a respirator. The next day, didn't need a respirator. He wasn't even talking. He wasn't even able to talk to anybody. Next day he came to, his fluid in his lungs were gone, and he was able to talk again. And his sister was basically in tears, telling me, Brad, he's better, he's better, he's better, he's better. I don't know what you did, but he's better now. He's better. He's got his lungs in order. He can speak again. And that just warmed my heart. My friends, this is what I'm telling you. The power is within all of you. It's all within you. And I didn't do anything. Guys, I'm an average Joe like you, right? I'm a nobody. But I'm close to God. I'm close to spirit. I'm close to the divine. And as a vessel, I can do this work. This is just one out of many stories I have. I've had people who have had cancers who have come to me that are now gone. Right? I've had people who have had diabetes that have come to me and are now gone. Okay? Whether I'm doing that through energy cord attunement, whether I'm doing that for full body scan, whether I'm working with you through a private session of doing that, it's fun. It's all through that. But it's not me doing the work. As I've always said, it is spirit. It is the divine. It's the divine force, right? And we're just vessels of it. And this is what I'm trying to get you guys to see, right? We spend so much time on this with politics and thinking that politicians are going to change our life around. Sure, there's going to be prosperity funding. Sure, there's going to be a lot of things that are going to turn around here. And the world is going to be a much more better place. Yes. But that doesn't excuse your personal suffering. You are still going to suffer until you learn to take care of yourselves. And that's why I'm here. And I'm just one out of many people that want to do this and help the people. I just have a particular goal in mind. And I want to bring as many enlightened beings onto this planet before I die. Okay. So that's really where I'm going. Okay. So, and I hope this puts into perspective the idea about why people are disabled. Okay. It's not because of just the physical of what we're seeing. It partially contributes that, but 90% is your heart. 90% is your soul. It's in agony and it needs to be set free. And that's what I'm here to do. Does that make sense to everybody? I hope I'm being clear on that. That's my goal. That's what I'm here to do. That's why I have students right now. My students have come to me in that sense, and they were going through great states of suffering. And now they're coming out and they're powerful practitioners, and they want to go out and they want to help the entire world because they're healing everything within themselves. And these are being very powerful people, but they're just average Joes and Jennies, just like all of you. Right? I'm an average Joe like many of you. But this capability is through me, because this is the most important thing to me in my life. So there you have it. So Anne, I hope that makes sense. All right, everybody, let's go down to one last question, and I think we're going to wrap up after that. Okay, so I'm going to end with this question for Germany. Okay, so this one here is Barbara. This question here is from Barbara. Barbara says, hi, Brad, could you please look into Germany? We are now an official war party since our government is sending war equipment and soldiers to Ukraine to support the new U.S. Biden offensive. Watch how quickly that dies. But let's see exactly what's going on here, okay? So we'll look into that. If Germany is sending all that to Ukraine, what's kind of like the relationship with Germany and the Ukraine here? Are you sure about that? Okay. Because all plans that are trying to make that happen are being completely and totally nullified. Okay. No equipment is getting through to the Ukraine. right? So like I said, Canada was trying to do that with Trudeau as well too. They're trying to send all this billions of dollars over to the Ukraine, all that stuff. Do you guys know why they're doing that? Right? Because that's the nest of the Khazarian mafia. That's where their head honchos, that's where their bosses are, right? And their bosses are saying, I don't care where you are in any country, get us supplies, get us money, get us this, get us that. And guess what's happening? There's an immediate halt to all of that, okay? So that agenda that they're trying to do isn't going through at all. There's a roadblock right there. It's dead, right? So there's other plans that are coming together. Guys, don't believe everything you read. Don't believe everything you hear, because that's not what's happening. Even with Trudeau trying to send billions of dollars to the Ukraine, not a single penny has made it to them, right? All of this is being blocked. There are new plans for that. Like I said, this is all part of prosperity funding. All of that is being flushed down the toilet relating to these plans, right? About sending equipment and soldiers to Ukraine. Nope. Not at all. Not what I'm getting here. Okay. And even if I go into the Akasha and I'm looking into that and seeing if Germany is indeed sending soldiers and supplies to the Ukraine, no, it's been halted. That's basically what we're led to believe. But there's been such a change. There's been halts of that. It feels like they're taking orders from a newer authority, a higher authority than whatever this party is all about. Okay, they're taking higher orders here because that's not what's happening. Okay, and in fact, Germany is going to be getting out of that whole situation. If that's what we're being told is happening, it's not happening. That's exactly what I'm getting as soon as I pull down the cards. Is she sure about that? Because that's actually not what's happening. Okay, so there is another type of support that Ukraine is getting, but it's not involving weapons, it's not involving equipment, it's not involving soldiers, it's not involving billions of dollars, right? Ukraine is going to be rebuilt into something else. It is no longer going to be used as a stronghold for cabal or, again, criminals of cartels such as the Khazarian mafia. It's going to be built into something completely brand new. It's actually going to be much more of a peaceful country in the times ahead, right? But it's this underground. It's that underground of the Ukraine, right? The whole situation with Ukraine pertaining to everybody just bailing out and be there for the Ukraine, be there for the Ukraine. In other words, be there for Khazaria. Please feed the Khazarian mafia. Please give us weapons. Please support Khazaria. We need help with Khazaria. Khazaria is in problems, having problems right now. We're being completely wiped out. Our bosses that are criminal nutcases who have created all these trafficking rings, who have created all these drug cartels, who have created these underground laboratories that were primarily responsible for CV-19 or losing their lives. Please, we need help to bail out our multi-billionaire dollar bosses that are really the 1%. We need help. That's basically what's being said. That's exactly why the Ukraine was being taken down. It is to cut the head off of the Khazarian mafia. Okay, so the idea of any troops in that sense, that's not what I'm getting. All of that's being blocked. All of that's being prevented. So there you go. That's what I'm getting out of it, both through the Akasha and through the tarot. So there's something else going down, my friends, and it's not what we think it is. It's something much better. All right. So thank you very much, Barbara. Thank you very much, everybody, for all of your questions today. We're out of time. So I will be back again next week, next Wednesday. I'm going to have Brianne with me. We're going to do some double personal readings for everybody. So get ready for that next week. Please check out wisdomtransmissions.com. Please check out the new free Trauma Transcendence Technique course. Okay, that is available. I'm also in the process right now. This is kind of the prototype, but I'm building this. Okay. This is just a prototype for the Ankh. Okay, now this looks like a very simple thing, but it is actually having all the specifications to be a very, very powerful healing device. And how you would use it is you would just put your 2 fingers in between there, and the Ankh is actually performing source center vibration, color vibration, grounding energy into yourself, just keeping the Ankh like this. Okay, so I'm currently building out this, like I said, it's just a prototype. So I'm building a brand new Ankh, and it contains the source center vibration. It's going to escalate the source center vibration. It's basically going to be about as powerful as the hand of Jupiter, which has 10,000% amplification to it. So the Ankh is in the works, and I'm hoping to get it out probably within the next week or so, hopefully before Christmas ends. Okay, so that is in the process too. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for all your questions. Hope you enjoyed the Zodiac spread as well, too, for Europe. We'll be back next Wednesday. Take care. Blessings, everybody. Please take care of yourselves. Please send that love to everybody. Send that blessing. Send that divinity, everything that represents your bliss. Send it to everything, consciously, subconsciously. It helps so much with the planet. Be well. Namaskar. And take care. Bye for now.